Hey again, everyone. Welcome to Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, and welcome back for more instant analysis, more drama across the nation. We're eyeing Nebraska trying to hang on to a 28-27 lead against Colorado. Nebraska has just sacked Steven Montez back at the 50-yard line after Montez completed a clutch third down completion to extend the drive. Nebraska leads again 28-27. The Huskers came out, moved the ball extremely well, but fumbled on its first two drives, which set up Buffalo touchdowns. Colorado led it at 14-0. Nebraska came back. It was back and forth, and Nebraska held what looked to be a decent 28-20 lead, and with the ball a number of times with more points on the table to extend the lead, but could not. Now, in the last drive, Adrian Martinez hurt. He was hurt after the Huskers picked up a first down. So Andrew Bunch had to come into the game. He's a walk-on sophomore, Andrew Bunch. So Nebraska had so many chances to limit the clock in this game, and they failed to do so. And it's given Colorado more time to try to score the game-winning points. And they only need a field goal to win the game. Up at this point, again, Nebraska 28-27. We've got a third and long, 1:18 left on the clock, an illegal procedure on Colorado, something that they don't need, but the crowd possibly being a factor here as Colorado is trying to set up for the Nebraska pass rush, and the left guard got out of his stance. And so we've got a third and 24. Buffs down 28-27 at their own 45-yard line. Montez back to pass, delivers down the middle, and it's nowhere to be found. And there's a flag on the field. So the Colorado wide receiver hit before the pass arrived. And they're going to call number 25, Reed, I believe, on the foul, Antonio Reed. And I believe Navy Thomas, our friend Navy Thomas, is probably going crazy right about now. As we track these 3:30 games, and this is where we've got the drama. Iowa State kicked off at 5 o'clock Eastern time. They're just into the third quarter, 3-3 game last I checked. Ohio State disposes of Rutgers, as we would expect, 52-3. Alabama with a huge win over Arkansas State, 57-7 last I checked on that score with just a few minutes left. And the other 3:30 games, of course, the big one in the SEC Eastern Division turned into a game in which, with about 5 minutes left, I gave South Carolina one more drive. It was 34-10, and I thought, okay, Jake Bentley, I'm going to give you one more drive to get somewhat back into the game. And they went 3 and out again against Georgia. And Georgia, just the dominant team with the playmakers, the speed. They dominated the line of scrimmage, especially in not giving Bentley a ton of time to throw and not giving South Carolina room to run, while the offensive line for Georgia did an outstanding job of giving their backs time, giving Jake Fromm time. And South Carolina, after taking a 1-2 punch in the first quarter, in the first few minutes, giving up a touchdown drive and then a DeAndre Baker pick six that we'll get to in just a second, because he did not complete the pick six, but it was taken into the end zone as he nonchalantly dropped the ball at the 1 yard line. But South Carolina trailed 14-0 after the big play by DeAndre Baker on the pick six, in which Rico Dowdle dropped two big passes for South Carolina early in the game. One led to the deflection for the Baker pick six, and the second one was a 3rd and 7 in which he had the crossing route, would have run for the first down, and South Carolina, Bentley threw it right to him, and Dowdle dropped it. And so Georgia took over. But South Carolina came back. They put together a nice drive, put together two nice drives. It was a 14-10 game, and then it was 17-10. It was actually 17-7, then 17-10, and South Carolina was within one score late in the first half. Unfortunately for Carolina, a shanked punt led to a score for Georgia that kept momentum on the Bulldogs side at 20-10 going into the half, and then they blew the doors off South Carolina. Nicole Hardman with some big plays in the second half, explosive plays where South Carolina's thin defensive secondary could just not contain Nicole Hardman. All right, back to Nebraska-Colorado. We've got a 1st and 10 after the penalty. And Montez has thrown a beautiful, beautiful pass for the touchdown. Wow. I hope you're watching Colorado, Nebraska right now, because Stephen Montez just threw a ball that we won't see too many better than this on Sunday than what Montez just threw to give Colorado the lead at 33-28. They will go for 2 to extend it to a full 7-point lead. This kid number 2 as well. He has made a number of plays. He made a diving catch that led Colorado to the touchdown to make it 28-27. So he is the go-to player for the Buffs as they're showing some fight on the road after leading 14-0, getting outscored 28-6 to go down 28-20. They've got a 2-point try here. And that's been denied. So we still have 33-28, meaning Nebraska needs to score the touchdown to take the lead and win the game. But that will at least win the game for Nebraska as opposed to just tying with the 2-point conversion being successful. This is Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. This is what we do. We discuss it, we debate, we analyze college football each and every day right here. Thanks for joining us. I will check the live chat and see what has caught your eye. Laviska Shenault, 13 targets today, 10 receptions, $177, and a touchdown. Pretty good day's work. 10 for 177 and a touchdown. And like I said, in the previous Colorado scoring drive, he laid out on a huge 3rd down and long for the catch that led to the touchdown to get them within 28-27. So in the previous series, again, Adrian Martinez playing his first game ever as the freshman quarterback at Nebraska, knocked out of the game, replaced by the walk-on sophomore, Andrew Bunch. They didn't let him throw the ball on 1st and 2nd down. They were giving up at that point, basically, and trying to stretch out the clock and concede and hand it over to the defense, which in this day and age and in this particular situation in watching this game, I don't know that turning it over to the defense was Scott Frost's best move, especially when Bunch on 3rd and 16 delivered a seed to the sideline to J.D. Spielman, who could not hang on to it, but it was he ripped it and delivered it. So maybe that gives Frost some confidence that Bunch can lead the Huskers to a game-winning touchdown drive. Not that he has any other choice but to depend on him with 1:06 on the clock at the 36-yard line. So Nebraska has to drive at 64 yards in 63 seconds to win the game. Again, Ohio State with a win over Rutgers 52-3. Dwayne Haskins was almost flawless in this one, completing 30 of 33. He was 20 of 23. Tate Martell was 10 of 10. So the Buckeyes 30 of 33 passing against poor Rutgers, 52-3. At least Rutgers finally scored after going scoreless against the Buckeyes the last 2 years and being outscored 114-0. J.K. Dobbins, Mike Weber just carried the load a little bit, and then they gave it up to the 2nd and 3rd and 4th teamers for Ohio State. Bunch threw one out of bounds after completing one for 1st down yardage. So he's got a 2nd and 10 with 42 seconds left in the game, 33-28. I've got the phone line here awaiting your phone calls. We'll stick around till, I don't know, we'll get close to 7:30, something in that range when we've got some more games kicking off. Texas A&M and Clemson have hit the field. We will check that one out, but certainly want to key in on this series with Nebraska one more chance. They've completed that pass for 5 yards to the Colorado 45. Again, our number is 860-325-3687. That's 860-325-3687. Got a timeout in Lincoln. All right. Stickman 83. We got our arses busted. Congrats to Georgia. Now that's the respectful way to handle a loss. Let's see if UGA fans can respectfully handle the W. George on the line. George on the line. I called it. Georgia 49-13. Good night, South Carolina. George, it's only the third quarter. I'm sure it will be worse. George continues to pile on. All right. Neosor L, I hope I pronounced that right. Go Dogs. Your first time commenting, I believe, to Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. So welcome aboard. We appreciate it. NCIS Fanatic 21, Dwayne Haskins for Heisman. Well, he got the campaign started last week. It continued today. It will be in full earnest next week against TCU. Bunch completes the ball downfield. Tremendous throw. So this kid can play. We've only seen him throw like 4 passes, but he can play. I've seen him in the spring games, but now I see him with the bullets firing at him. And yeah, he just completed a really good pass, flushed to his left, turned the shoulders, delivered it down to the 21-yard line. So Nebraska's in business, but they only have 19 seconds. And there's a flag on the field for illegal procedure that will bump them back 5 yards. That's not the end of the world considering their position on the field, but still they've got 19 seconds. So depending on what they do with no timeouts left, they should be able to run 3 plays if they get the ball out of bounds. Back on the chat, who cares about South Carolina? Stop overhyping South Carolina, Cashboy D. Mark, I have a trivia question for you. When was the last time Ohio State scored 50-plus points to start the season? I'm okay in back-to-back games. Back-to-back-to-back, meaning 3 straight 50-point games. We're talking 2 straight. They've done it 2 straight here with 77 and 52. So 3 consecutive games for Ohio State starting the season. I'm actually broadcasting a live stream here, so I can't necessarily talk about Ohio State or try to come up with that. So trivia questions aside, let's not get into that right now. All right, Nebraska at the 26-yard line. Bunch swings it out to the right side. Kid's got to get out of bounds. That's a Bell with a ball at the, I believe, 15-yard line. No, back to the original line of scrimmage at the 20. They only have 13 seconds left, and they've got a 2nd and 15. Again, the 15 yards doesn't really matter unless they get it on this play. All right, 2nd down for the Huskers. 13 seconds left. They're at the Colorado 20, down 5. This kid has been impressive at quarterback. Bunch back to pass. Rush needs to fling it to the end zone. He had him, but he threw it a little bit late. And he probably would have thrown it later had the rush not gotten to him because Morgan had more than a step in the corner, but he let him out of bounds. He had him. That's a difficult throw, though, but if it was on time, it would have been Nebraska's win. 7 seconds left. Most likely might be the last play. This is going to be close. 3rd down, so 2 plays. Anyway, 7 seconds left for Bunch in Nebraska. All right, down the sideline, he missed the wide receiver at the 10. So this is it. He's got to go to the end zone. 33-28 Buffs. Colorado looking to go to 2-0. But this kid, once again, regardless of what the stats are going to be, has been mighty impressive. Andrew Bunch, the walk-on sophomore quarterback who may need to play next week for Nebraska. Scott Frost's debut. And let's see. The officials are blowing it dead. There's a timeout from Colorado, of course, because the Huskers are out of timeouts. All right. Dwayne Haskins still so much better than JT Barrett. I love your new pro-style offense. No worries, NCIS Fanatic 21. It's just that I can't conduct a live stream and be thinking, scrolling through Ohio State football seasons, trying to remember when they scored 50 straight points 3 games in a row. I remember when they scored 70 straight, 2 consecutive games to start the season. That was 1996 versus Rice and Pitt. 70 and 72 in those 2 games. So Ohio State came out. Johnny Dixon with a touchdown reception right out of the gate. First drive, Dwayne Haskins with a beautifully thrown ball. Johnny Dixon, of course, only caught 18 passes last year, but 8 touchdowns, big play performer. Buckeyes took it from there. The defense was dominant, gave up next to no yards through the air, knocked out the Rutgers starting quarterback, Art Sitkowski. All right, last play for the Huskers. They throw to the end zone, and they threw it out of bounds anyway. So Colorado goes to Nebraska, wins the game. Excellent football game. Big win for Mike McIntyre and the Buffs. Of course, he has had nothing but losing seasons, excluding that aberration 2 years ago in which he went 10-3 and made it all the way to the Pac-12 championship game. So Colorado defeats Colorado State, and Nebraska gets off to a good start this season in 2017. Steven Montez played his rear end off, and Leveski Chanot had a tremendous game at wideout for the Buffs. Adrian Martinez and Scott Frost make their debut in Lincoln. They looked really good throughout the game offensively, especially the first couple drives, but they fumbled, and this may have led to the demise right here as they went down 14-0 despite moving the ball up and down the field in the first quarter. All right. There we got it from there. Let's check out and see what's going on at Kyle Field. I will let you guys loose soon unless anybody wants to call in. The number is 860-325-3687, 860-325-3687. Clemson, Texas A&M. We've got 4th and 16, and Clemson punting from its own end. I will put the phone number in the live chat. So Texas A&M with their second possession. Kellen Mond with a whole lot of work to do, of course, today. He on Travion Williams in taking on the Clemson front four, which is the best in college football. All right, we also have a nice little game with Iowa and Iowa State. Not a whole lot of offense for you, but it's a close one. They're going to break in Iowa City, and the Hawkeyes lead this one 6-3, and there's about a minute left in the third quarter. All right, so nobody's calling the line. That's fine. You guys have pressed and pushed for a call-in show, and it's been great when you guys have called in. Certainly, I love it. Oh, somebody's calling.
The call will start at the beep. You can answer my call and keep doing it over and over.
Hey, it's Mark. Who's this, George?
Hey, Mark.
What's going on?
I'm starting to feel pretty good about myself.
Are you? Well, you should always feel good about yourself.
No. I said 49-13 Georgia. That's close for just a nobody.
It was mighty close. Good call.
It was mighty close. And now South Carolina can never talk again. Oh, my God, I'm so happy.
They can never talk again.
I love them. Well, they can talk when they play East Illinois State or something, but don't talk when you play a real football team. You're South Carolina. Remember your place.
Well, their place.
You're not in the pecking order. South Carolina is not in the pecking order for the top 10.
Oh, they're definitely not there. No. They're not close to the top 10 right now.
On the other hand, I can talk trash.
I know you're a Gator.
How about Alabama? Listen, I said LSU was the Cinderella team, that they would beat Alabama and Georgia. But now I want to openly admit it. I'm afraid of Tua. I'm horrified. I don't know what to say anymore. I might have to recalculate.
Recalculate. We're always recalculating every week. That's what we have to do.
Evil monster from the pits of hell or something. I mean, like, where do you find that quarterback?
Yeah, the boy can play.
Yeah. God darn it. I had high hopes for Joe Rivers or whatever his name is at LSU, but damn, Alabama just looks like they're going to win the national championship. Alabama looks like they might be 15-0.
Well, they're going to have to go through Florida to do that, right?
We're the only thing that can stop them.
Okay. All right. Well, you got the Kentucky Wildcats tonight, 7:30.
Oh man, should I be nervous?
Not real nervous, but slightly.
Right.
I will take the points in
nervous.
that one.
I'm not nervous at all.
Okay.
It's nothing but a tailgate party this week.
Okay. What games are you going to be nervous about?
Well, name a game and I'll tell you.
The Georgia game.
Yeah.
The LSU game.
Who are they playing?
I'm talking about Florida. When you play LSU.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a great game and Florida wins.
Okay. The LSU game, the Georgia game, you're going to be nervous about those games. Are you going to be nervous about when?
No. I'm not worried about LSU and Georgia. I'm worried about Mississippi State and Kentucky. Shit.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, George.
Yeah, we got Georgia. We got LSU. Dan Mullen, he loves those big games.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I didn't notice that at Mississippi State that he loved those big games.
He didn't have 20 returning NFL starters. That's why.
Not most of the time. No, he did not. He did not.
All right. Everybody on our team's getting drafted, so everybody can talk shit all day. Dan Mullen never rode a shark naked.
No, he didn't do that. He didn't do that. We run a clean program here, George. So no cussing. I want anybody to be able to watch this.
I have videos of Dan Mullen explaining offense from Idaho State or wherever the heck that was. The guy knows what he's doing, and we have a competent coach. We're not Miami. We're not FSU. We're not whoever that other team was this week, South Carolina.
Well, you've got a good coach. You got a good program. You got a recruiting base there. You got everything in play, but it's not going to happen this year, George. It's not going to happen this year.
It is going to happen. I'm a prognosticator, and I prognosticated it.
Okay. All right. We'll just have to wait and see.
The word for this week is prognostication. That's what George does.
That's your thing.
Right. And even prognosticators are afraid of Alabama. So good luck, everybody else.
Yeah, they're pretty tough.
Yeah.
All right, George. We appreciate it. You have yourself a good night.
I'm going to go watch football.
Watch some, you got 7:30 start here. Yeah.
I know.
All right.
Starting to breathe heavy.
All right, George. Have a good one. Thanks for the call.
All right. Bye, Mark.
Love the comments from George. And he loves his Gators. And there you go. So if anybody else wants to call in before I hang it up for this session, 860-325-3687, 860-325-3687. And otherwise, I'm going to bounce back and forth between Iowa, Iowa State, and Texas A&M and Clemson. And you do the same. We will see you after the primetime games and with more instant analysis here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football.